everybody. Welcome to my channel, and thank you for joining. Now, in today's episode, we have the man that everyone's been chatting about in the preseason. He's in everyone's, not everyone's team, but he's in a lot of teams. We're going to check out how many. We're talking about Matt Crouch, who had a huge second half of the year, or towards the end of it anyway. So we're going to see, because he's under 500k. So we're going to see now. Is he worth it? Does he offer us value? What can he do for us? Let's have a look. Let's dig in. Now, Matt Crouch, currently priced at just under 500k. All right. Now, his averages in the past. All right. He peaked 2017. All right. 110. It's huge. 2020, he went at 110. But 2020, remember, there were shortened quarters, so there were 20-minute quarters. So if you had a lot of touches, especially early in that quarter, you were going to rack up points. So 2020, it could have been anything, okay? So this average in 2020, I don't really look at it. I don't really look at it, okay? It doesn't really tell me much because it could have been anything, okay? Because there were so many points added on because of the 3,300 point rule that we have, so it just points were just piled on later on, especially for someone that's touching the ball a lot. So and we know Matt Crouch loves touching the ball. Usually he has ball poisoning. Now you can tell. Have a look. Games missed. It's featured the whole season. 2022 games missed. He has a good patch of 6 or 7 games. Then he's misses and plays and misses. So he's an injury risk, okay? And if you go for his record, 7 games, 11 games. 2020 had a full season. 2019 and 18, close to full seasons. But he's not getting in. He's not old, okay? He's actually quite young. It's his first 10th year. He's probably about 28, 27, I'd say. Actually, let's confirm that. Well, he was born the 21st of April, 95, so that'll make him 29 this year, especially in April. It's only a couple of months away. So he'll be 29 years old, still a baby. He'll be in his prime for a midfielder as well. Usually the midfielders, they peak when they're 26, 27. They sort of go downhill after 30. Some of them do, some get better. Just look at Libba, but he's still young. Okay, let's continue. I've gone to DFS Australia. Okay, and now I've done something a little bit different today. I've clicked onto Fantasy instead of Supercoach, all right? The reason I've done this is just to check out the 2020 and see his scoring in 2020 in Fantasy, because they don't include the 3,300 points, so they don't give you any extra points. So virtually they give you what you really scored, and it's at shorter quarters. And you'll find here in 2020, he actually did okay. He had 3 standout games, 125 or 122, and the rest are like 78, 102, 96, 90. I mean, 70s, 90s, 67. I mean, now if you go by that, that's not an average of 110. Okay, so the reason the Supercoach points were so high was because they added extra points because of the 3,300 rule. But if you go into his Supercoach now, let's go to Supercoach. All right. We're in Supercoach. Now, let's have a look at his last 6 or 7 games. Actually, I think his last 6 games, all right? Now, he scored a 98, an 86, 122, 112, 144, and 86. What happened? All right? Time on ground, take note. 74%, 65, 73, 71, very low time on ground, okay? The usual mid goes around 80. Let's see if it was any higher in previous years, okay? Well, in 2020 it was higher because it was short in quarters, which suited him, okay? In 2022, his time on ground was again low, 68, 74. He's a bit of like a Rory Laird who doesn't spend much time on ground, but points per minute are very high. Because when he comes on the ground, he gets a lot of points. Points per minute, it's over 1. Okay, so he's getting a lot of points per minute, just not spending much time on the ground. Now, which worries me a little bit. Okay, Now, have a look at his heat map. Now, this game he didn't score much, and you can tell why. It was his first game back from injury, right? So we'll give him that, okay? So the next game he went and scored 144, okay? So now 144, he had 12 kicks and 20 handballs. Now his kick to handball ratio is not good, all right? It's you can see here 5 kicks, 26 handballs, 8 kicks, 18 handballs, 8 kicks, 25 handballs. He doesn't like to kick the ball. But by handballing, his disposal efficiency is very high. All right, so he doesn't 91% in two of the games, 81, 88. So there's not many hacked handballs. They're pretty accurate. The handballs are. So that's a good thing. Now, the game of 144 that he went on, you can see he's everywhere. He's in the midfield and he's doing everything. All right, and the game he scored 112. I mean, he's a ball magnet, okay? He's scoring at 1 point a minute when he's on the ground. Give him 80% time on ground, and he's going to go nuts. He's going to go 120s, all right? Here he only had 65% time on ground, and only scored 86 points. That's a lot of points for only 65% time on ground. Still at 1.04 points per minute, so that's good. Just that he didn't have the time on ground. So when he had the ball, he did a lot with it. So, in regards to his scoring, we have no problems. There's no issue with his scoring. The only issue is his durability. That's the only risk. There's nothing else. We know he can score. And when he handballs more than kicks, but his disposal efficiency is very high, so he gets the points anyway. He racks it up. Okay. All right, let's continue. Now, for your end team. End of the year, you've got 8 midfield spots. Okay, can you see him being better than the Bont? Actually, that's not midfield. What's the English doing in there? Let's go midfield. Okay. Mind you, he's not priced at 700k like the Bont is, all right. But can you see him being better than any of these? Bont, Oliver, Petrarca, Laird, Merritt, Libba, Dunkley, Butters, Uniac, Goulden, Sarong, Green, the list goes on, okay? There's a lot of guns in that midfield, okay? So, he is a primo, but he's not a keeper, okay? So, let's give our verdict for him now. Now, I had someone ask me on Twitter, actually, let me show you. Now, Sean Baker on Twitter asked me, he said, thanks for the Amon review. He said, I'm interested in your thoughts on a couple of others. Coleman, which we're going to do, and Matt Crouch, which we're just doing now. I was happened to be doing him while he messaged me. Must have that ESP thing, telecommunication. Anyway, and he said also the question is, he also said, can you have 2 or 3 of these in your team, like a Crouch, like an Amon, like a Guthrie? How many of these can you have in your team? Okay, is what he asked. To be honest, I said to him no. I said you'd want to have 1, okay? But looking at Amon, I really liked what I saw, okay? And especially with Amon, because he's going to have the DPP and go into that back line later on. So I really like what I saw with Amon. However, with Matt Crouch, you can actually start him and Amon together. I can't see a problem with that. Because he ticks all the boxes, okay? Value... you'd have to say yes. Oh, not test, but yes. Now, the only problem is the time on ground, okay? If he can get that up to 75% time on ground, he's going to go 110 plus. He's going around about 65, 70, okay? He needs to get it up to 75% plus. 80% is even better. I don't think he'll do it. They won't risk him because of his injury history. So he'll be a 75% time on ground man. Similar to a Laird, who's also a scoring machine. Now, he can average that 105 for you. I can't see why he can't. He can. He gets a lot of the ball. I wish he'd kick it more than he handballed it, but he doesn't. He handballs a lot. Now, is he a keeper? The answer is no. He's not a keeper, all right? But, is he buy-friendly? Yes. He has a round 15 buy, okay, which means... round 15 buy. So you can have him in your team during every single bye round. All of them, up until his own bye round, which is the last bye round, which is round 15. And then you could just upgrade him to a better player. So he's actually going to cover you for a lot of scores. So I don't mind him now, even though I was negative at the start. I mean, sometimes you get negative before you do the review. Because I was doing his review before I started. I was negative, okay? I didn't know what I was going to expect. Once I did the review, once I seen the stats and the time on ground, and he's actually not that bad, except for the injury risk, all right? Now, going on that injury risk, now here's the issue. If you start a player that has injury risk, all right, it's better to start him. Let him play 10 games, 5 games, whatever he plays until he gets injured, okay, and then trade him out. Better to have a player like this than to trade in an injury risk player like Crouch, okay? And for example, if Crouch scores 120 the first 3 games, what are you going to do? You're going to bring him in, okay? So why, instead of bringing in an injury risk player, if you start him, you only lose 1 trade by trading him out. But if you bring him in, then you have to trade him out again, okay? So you actually waste 2 trades. So a player like this is one that you probably want to start with rather than bring in later on. But will I start him, okay, is the question. I'm not sure, okay? I'm not sure. I'll be honest. I don't know what I'm doing with my team now, okay? I'm not sure if I start him. Rating I give for him is a placeholder. He's a genuine placeholder. And a good placeholder at that. He can score you those points. His job is to cover all those bye rounds, and he's got the perfect bye round for it. So he's what you call Mr. Fix-It, okay? So he can do it for you. So my verdict for him is go with the Hearts. Okay, go with the Hearts. If you want to take the risk, I can't see why you shouldn't. If you don't take the risk, I can see why you didn't, okay? So it's a 50-50, okay? You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't sort of thing, okay? Just calm it down. Anyway, let's continue. Now, we've done a few. If you go into my, where is it? My folder, playlists, okay? We've got a little playlist here, okay? If you go to playlists and you got player reviews, you can see here, 2024 player reviews. We can click onto those and they'll all pop up. So you actually get to see all the player reviews. Okay, they're all in this little folder here. So we've done Amon, Martin, Guthrie, and I'm just doing this one, right? This is the 4th one. 3rd one for the Knights. But I'm going to try to get as many done as possible. But next week, we're going to start on the 500 to 600k players. And there's a lot of value there as well. So this year, we have a lot of value. We have a lot of good, expensive players, but there's a lot of value as well. So we're gonna have a dig into those players and see what we can find. That's all for today. Thank you for joining, and remember one thing: it's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. Ciao for now.
That's all, folks.